Hey, how's it going guys? You're watching Fierce Rex YouTube channel, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the top 10 best free-to-play multiplayer games for low-end PC. And by low-end PC I mean those devices which at least has 4 GB of RAM, and if your device has below 4 GB RAM, then I'm sorry friend, but I can't guarantee you that these games will work on your device. And yeah, keep in mind that all the games are ranked pretty much randomly, so consider every game as they are number 1. Okay, but before starting the video, I want you to give it a thumbs up, as it takes a lot of effort to make one. So let's start after the intro. In the number 10 spot we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The player assumes the role of various characters during the single-player campaign, changing perspectives throughout the progression of the story, which, like its predecessors, is divided into 3 sets of missions called acts. Each mission in an act featuring a series of objectives that are displayed on the heads-up display, which marks the direction and distance between such objectives and the player. Damage to the player is shown by the visualization of blood spatter or readouts on the screen. The player's health regenerates over time as long as the player character avoids taking damage for a limited time. Mission objectives vary in their requirements, ranging from having the player arrive at a particular checkpoint, to eliminating enemies in a specified location, to standing their ground against enemy squadrons, directing remote-operated weapons, and planting explosive charges on enemy installations. Pretty nice game, so definitely worth a try. So, in the number 9 spot we have Dying Light. Dying Light is a survival horror video game played from a first-person perspective. The game is set in an open-world environment called Heron. Initially, an area named the Slums can be freely explored, later adding a second area called Old Town. Players traverse this urban environment, which is overrun by vicious zombies. There is an emphasis on parkour mechanics, which allow players to perform actions such as climbing ledges, leaping from edges, sliding, jumping between roofs and zip-lining. A grappling hook allows players to climb up buildings and quickly travel between places. As players explore the game's world, they can scavenge supplies and loot, which can be used to craft new weapons or sold to vendors. The player character can utilize his survivor sets to identify all nearby loot and use lockpicks to open locked chests. Players can also complete various side missions by accepting tasks issued by the non-playable characters in the game's safe zones. As players explore Heron, they can also pick up various collectibles such as notes and journals, and listen to voicemail recordings. This is one of my favorite games, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Okay, so, moving on to the number 8 spot we have Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is the first Call of Duty video game to feature branching storylines, in which the player's choice affects both the current mission and in turn, the overall course of the story. Known as Strike Force missions, these branching storylines appear during the 2025 storyline and feature permanent death. The success or failure of these missions can have ramifications for the wider campaign storyline. Choosing one of the missions locks out the others unless the player begins a fresh campaign. Strike Force missions allow the player to control a number of different war assets, such as unmanned aerial vehicles, jet fighters, and robots. If the player dies in a Strike Force mission, the campaign continues recording that loss, as opposed to letting the player load a previously saved checkpoint. The player's progress in the Strike Force missions may go on to change even the plans of the story's antagonist, Raul Menendez, by the end of the game. The player may have changed the results of the new Cold War. Amazing game, so definitely worth a try. Well, in the number 7 spot we have Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 is a tactical shooter video game developed and published by City Interactive for Microsoft Windows. Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 is a tactical shooter that employs stealth, hand-to-hand assassinations and titular sniping techniques. Gameplay features realistic bullet physics that factors distance, wind, and bullet drop when sniping targets. The game starts with player taking control of U.S. Marine Captain Cole Anderson in the Philippines, with CIA Special Agent Diaz making their way to an old Russian radar post to destroy it while working on a tip that some mercenaries had assembled there to broker a deal for a biological weapon. While Diaz destroys it, he overhears enemy radio chatter about the capture of a spy working for the PSC by the mercenaries. Diaz commands a team to rescue the operative while Anderson makes his way to provide covering fire from a cave overlooking the resort, where the soldier is being held captive and where the supposed deal is scheduled to take place. Amazing game with a fantastic story, so definitely worth a try. Coming up to the number 6 spot we have Paladins. Paladins is a team-based first-person shooter that focuses on 2 groups of 5 players each, who compete for combat-based goals. The game is set in colorful sci-fi fantasy maps, where each player chooses a champion that cannot be repeated in the same team and cannot be changed in the match. Each champion has their own weapons, skills, and fighting style. In addition, they can be enhanced and personalized from a card and skin system. The interface of each player is very profitable and customizable, with avatars and customizable borders to symbolize the player's profile. Titles when reaching mastery level 30 with a champion, among others. It's a world-famous game and absolutely worth trying. And in the number 5 spot we have Ballarat. Ballarat is a team-based tactical shooter and first-person shooter set in the near future. Players play as one of a set of agents, characters designed based on several countries and cultures around the world. In the main game mode, players are assigned to either the attacking or defending team, with each team having 5 players on it. Agents have unique abilities, each requiring charges, as well as a unique ultimate ability which requires charging through kills, deaths, or spike actions. Every player starts each round with the classic pistol and 1 or more signature ability charge. Other weapons and ability charges can be purchased using an in-game economic system which awards money based on the outcome of the previous round, any kills the player is responsible for, and any actions taken with the spike. Amazing game and definitely worth thinking about. Okay, so, moving on to the number 4 spot we have CounterStrike Global Offensive. Global Offensive, like prior games in the CounterStrike series, is an objective-based, multiplayer first-person shooter. 2 opposing teams, known as the terrorists and the counter-terrorists, compete in game modes to complete objectives, such as securing a location to plant or defuse a bomb and rescuing or capturing hostages. At the end of each round, players are rewarded based on their individual and their team's performance with in-game currency to spend on other weapons or utility in subsequent rounds. The amount of money given varies on the game mode. Winning rounds generally rewards more money than losing does, and completing objectives such as killing enemies gives cash bonuses. Uncooperative actions, such as killing teammates, result in a financial penalty. I have spent countless hours playing this game with my friends and still enjoying playing it. I hope you're gonna have a nice time too. Coming up to the number 3 spot we have Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor is a first-person shooter video game developed by Danger Close Games and EA Dice and published by Electronic Arts. It is the 13th installment in the Medal of Honor series and a reboot of the series. Gameplay focuses on portraying operations in Afghanistan. Typical in-game objectives include raiding enemy hideouts, hostage rescues and undercover operations. The modification of Unreal Engine 3.0 allows players to slide to cover and other combat moves. Players can request ammo from teammates in the single-player campaign, though this is limited. The game received positive reviews from critics and was a commercial success. Absolutely worth playing. In the number 2 spot we have Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4 is a first-person action-adventure game. Players assume control of Ajay Gale, a karate American who is on a quest to spread his deceased mother's ashes in the fictional country of Kirat. Ajay may utilize various short and long-range firearms, including pistols, revolvers, shotguns, assault rifles, submachine guns, bows, a flamethrower, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and sniper rifles. More powerful versions of these weapons become available after considerable progression through the game. Throwable weapons include fragmentation grenades, Molotov cocktails, and throwing knives. The game allows players to take cover to avoid gunfights and to perform melee takedowns from above or up close. Unlike previous installments in the series, Far Cry 4 gives players the ability to kick objects and the ability to hide the corpses of enemies. Guys, just try this game for once. I assure you that you won't play it until you finish this game. Okay, at last in the number 1 spot we have Battlefield 4. The game's heads-up display, is composed of 2 compact rectangles. The lower left-hand corner features a mini-map and compass for navigation, and a simplified objective notice above it. The lower right includes a compact ammo counter and health meter. The top right displays kill notifications of all players in-game. On the Windows version of the game, the top left features a chat window when in multiplayer. The mini-map, as well as the main game screen, shows symbols denoting 3 kinds of entities. Blue for allies, green for squadmates, and orange for enemies. This applies to all interactivity on the battlefield. Battlefield 4 options also allow colorblind players to change the on-screen color indicators to Tried Anomaly, Glitter Anomaly, and Prot Anomaly. This is the best FPS game in my opinion, and I want you to try it for even once. You will get the experience which you had never even thought about. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video till the end. I hope you have found this video useful, so please consider subscribing my channel. Okay, so, with all due respect, love your parents, respect your country, stay home, and stay safe, and most importantly take care of yourself. See you guys in the next video, till then.
Bye-bye.